What's poppin', YouTube? It's me, your boy, Why Not Tony, and I'm here with the fucking windshield wiper. I figured we'd do something today. This is quick, easy, general maintenance type stuff that you can do. And also, I'm super bored because I don't got no girlfriend and it's raining outside, so I can't go fishing. So, I don't need this on anymore. That was kind of stupid. Coffee, man. Gotta have that coffee. All right, so yeah, I think we're just gonna grab trash out real quick, and then we're gonna go underneath the hood, and we're just gonna do some general maintenance type stuff. Things that you can do at home. You don't have to be inside to do it. I'm inside today because it's raining outside. I think we're just gonna check all the fluids, check the air filter, go ahead and check to see some other stuff, and then we're gonna switch that windshield wiper. Actually, let's start with that windshield wiper. All right, so I went to my local parts store. No free publicity. If you want to sponsor me, then sponsor me. Went to my local parts store, and they got a book where you can ask one of the people, and they'll tell you exactly what kind you want. I got the most expensive kind because this YouTube ad revenue is really helping me out in this struggling time. This is my car, and it takes just one single windshield wiper. Always cut towards yourself, so if you slip, the knife goes into you instead of harming someone else that's around you. Oh, it just slides off. Okay, so you don't need the knife. It's got this yellow thing on it. It's just to protect the blade up until you want to use the blade. So, and then there's an extra clip. It's got this extra clip depending on what type of attaching you need to do to get the windshield wiper to attach. And then the instructions tell you how to do it. Okay, I guess we're just gonna break it to take it off, so that works. But to get this one on, I don't know. I might have to get those instructions. Okay, so I pinched and swiveled this plastic piece right here. You pinch it, you know, and it opens up. You pinch these sides, and it opens up. And then you grab your end, and you're gonna feed it through that hole that is created, and you're just gonna tug it. And then all you're doing is just, that's just on this one. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. Different cars have different connection points and stuff. And then we're just gonna set that down, and we'll see if it works. Okay, so I'm just gonna simulate a rainy environment, highest setting, and oh God. Try that again. Oh yeah, oh God. Okay, so we got the no free publicity. There, no free publicity. There, no free publicity for anybody. It's super important to me that that I get all the money that I'm deserved in its entirety. Okay, so we got the windshield wiper on. It was super difficult, super hard process to do. So obviously you want a trained professional to do it. I'd probably charge $300 for that individual process. Now we're going to go on to probably one of the more difficult things that you need to do for your vehicle. So it's always really important to have trained professionals who's taken 16 years worth of classes and has lived and breathed in the engine bay of a vehicle to check your fluids. Okay, so we're here in the belly of the beast. And I think we're gonna start by checking our transmission fluid and our oil fluid levels, our liquid levels for the transmission fluid and the other liquid that's in your engine. So first thing we're gonna do is grab a rag. This is one of our highly specialized tools that we use. It's called a rag, R-A-G. It stands for ridiculously expensive, adaptive cloth spelled with a G. That's what RAG stands for. This rag probably costs $600, and you can only get it through certain parts and tool dealers. So this is something that you probably won't have at home, but paper towels will work fine, and old t-shirts, your ex's hoodie, or sweatshirt or something, that would be a good use for this. We're gonna start with the oil fluid level indicator stick, also known as the dipstick, and mine is located with this fancy red top. So you're gonna pull it out, you're gonna wipe it off because the oil will move around and you won't get an accurate description of how high your level is. And if you look on the stick, it's gonna have, focus, a couple of marks on it. The top mark is obviously the high level. The middle mark is gonna be the middle level, and the bottom level is gonna be your lowest point. You want it to be anywhere between the top and bottom, but you don't want it to be overfilled, and you don't want it to be underfilled. So you're gonna dip your dipstick back in, all the way down. If it's a twist to lock, you're gonna wanna twist it and lock it, and then you're gonna pull it back up, and you're gonna check to see where the level is. It's just a touch high on there, and it's actually pretty dark. It's not too dark. There's one way you could test it is if you put it on your finger, wipe it around, and see how dark it is on your finger. I did just do an oil change on this, so I'm not too sure why my oil is that dark. So the next thing that's in the same area is the transmission fluid level indicator, which is another dipstick. The dipstick has a lock on it that you pull up, at least in this car. Everything's gonna be different in each cars, and I got a couple cars that I might just show you the difference within each vehicle, just to give you a kind of like just to show you how it's different. Anyway, so my transmission dipstick is locked in, it's pressurized, and you're gonna pull it up. Again, you don't want the engine to be on for this one. You're gonna pull it up, and it's gonna be a little bit longer because it's going deeper down into the whole assembly of the car. And it's gonna have fluid marks on it as well, a lot like the dipstick. Your transmission fluid is gonna be a red, and if you feel around on your transmission fluid and there's little flakes of metal or something gritty inside that transmission fluid, that's not a good sign for your transmission. You're gonna get normal wear and tear in your transmission just because it's a lot of metal gears grinding against each other, but you don't wanna have a large amount. There's a filter in there that should be getting it. Yeah, so that's that. Transmission fluid is good level on mine. My transmission's pretty good on this, unlike my Ford. I just now realized that the entire time it's been out of focus. Now that we're back in focus and you can kind of see again, this spot right here is where I would fill up if I needed to with some oil. It's just a simple twist and you just pour it straight down there. You're not using canola oil or vegetable oil or corn oil. You're using, for me, I think it's like 10W30 or 5W30. For in this vehicle, I'm not gonna keep saying this. Every vehicle is different. Every vehicle is gonna have the same basic layout, but stuff is gonna be in different locations. Things are gonna have to be taken off differently just because every vehicle is different. So for this particular vehicle, I'm showing you the basics of how to check general maintenance type things. Anyways, air filter. Underneath this plastic thing, we're gonna remove this. It's just a plastic cover. It's not super needed, but it's nice, probably. This whole housing right here is where the air filter is gonna be located. You'll be able to find your air filter because it's going to have tubing coming off of the engine block coming out to probably not the furthest away from the engine, but you want it to be somewhat far away from the engine because cool air is a little bit more dense and it helps the engine with engineering stuff and making power. Anyways, so my air filter is held in by 4 clips, no special tools needed. I mean, super specialized techniques are needed to do this, so this is probably why you can't do this at home yourself. We're gonna pull these clips off. These clips are 2 years worth of schooling to figure out how to take them off. And then what they don't teach you in high school is that there's also clips underneath on the bottom that you're gonna have to find with your specialized hands and also pop them off with your specialized techniques. And that should just pull away, and you can see that there's a tube right here that leads down and into my wheel area and headlight area. We're just gonna set this aside over here. Nothing's needed to do in here. I mean, you could check, sometimes stuff will collect in here, but it's not needed. And this is your air filter. This is just basic, this is stock. I haven't can-end swapped my air filter or anything. I might, but honestly, there's no need to right now. I'm not needing any more extra airflow. I'm running stock fuel rails with, you know, all the important stuff. But this is stuff that is way past my pay grade. So this is the air filter. You can replace these. You're supposed to replace these every certain amount of miles. But if you're on a budget, because you spent 16 years in specialized training just to change oil, you can reuse them as long as they're not extremely full. But you can see it's pretty clean. There's no buildup on the inside, and there's no buildup of like dead birds or grass or small families of insects inside of it. So that's where your air filter is. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you put it back in the correct order. Inside of here, it says, so you want the paper to be like this. So you don't want to put it in so that it's like this. You want to put it in so that it's like this. So we'll put this, actually, this is another trick that I learned on year 12 of my 16 years in automotive school. Put the filter into there first and not on here. And then you want to, you know, make sure you're going the right way. Make sure it's all sealed down properly. And then make sure your clips are out of the way so you can slide it in. Down on top, make sure everything's snug. Hit the bottom clips first and get those tugged on. There's one, there's two, there's three, and there's four. So that is checking your air filter. Over here in this area as well, we've got our brake fluid, and then we also have our water or engine coolant. Your brake fluid level will adjust depending on the size of your brakes, but it's generally you want to keep it within high to low, right in the middle, kind of with everything. This will take off. It's a little snug, so we'll use our highly specialized rag and open that up. And this one doesn't have a dipstick or anything. You just want to check the color, make sure that the color is good, and make sure that the level is good. I'm sitting right above, or right below max level. I've got decent brake pad life, so this is a good spot for me. You want to, of course, make sure that your wiring is all connected to that, so your sensors know what's going on. So that's good right there. If you were to need brake fluid, make sure you get the brake fluid that's specific for your vehicle. Again, you go to your local parts store, you ask them, you say, hey, I have a 2012 Chevy Equinox or something like that. And they'll tell you, all right, well, this is what you need. Over here, we also have the coolant. This is what keeps the engine cool. While you're driving, the engine will heat up, obviously, because there's little explosions happening inside there. So this helps keep the engine cool at its optimal temperature so you don't have any issues going on. And this, for me, is always super tight, so we're gonna take our specialized rag. Oh my goodness. There. This, you really want to let everything cool down before you open it, because with heat, it gets pressurized, and you go to pop this off, and kaboosh, she's squirting everywhere. So in there, I can see that I'm just at max level, but if I was to fill it up again, or say I needed to replace some fluid or whatnot, I'd come here and fill it up right through this hole. Not that hard. For me, the indication is inside. On some vehicles, it's a clear tub, kind of like the brake fluid, and you can check the level through the side. Mine has steps that say min and max, and you kind of want to set it right on the top of the max. So I'm good with my fluid level, and the color seems okay. If you can't see in there, you can just grab a flashlight and see. You want to just keep the colors, want to stay consistent with the colors of a brand new bottle of fluid. So my fluid is, it's like a greenish blue. Most coolants are going to be greenish blue coloring. So you just want to keep checking that color to make sure. If this color turned like black, then it would be bad. If you see it kind of foamy and creamy, that means there's oil mixing into it, and you probably have a crack in your block, or your head gasket's blown, something like that. Another good thing to do while you're in your engine bay is just to check to make sure all your wiring is connected. You don't have any loose bolts anywhere, any stripped wiring, that would be bad. Here's where my two fluid level dipsticks are. This is for the transmission, this is for the engine oil. This is the engine oil fill. This is my brake fluid, and you can see it's got a min max on the side. You can see here I'm just right below that maximum level. Inside here is my coolant, and you can see that I'm just touching the max level. All my hoses seem to be attached. I do have seepage right here, but it's an old vehicle on an old car. These are all in. My fuel rail looks okay. Yeah. We are out in the rain. We're gonna check another vehicle. Shut up, 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 shut up. Okay. So this is a 1999 Ford F-250 with the V10. It's a Super Duty. It's the gasoline version. It's super heavy hood. It's raining outside, so we're gonna do this quick. So in here you can see we've got our coolant reservoirs right here. You can see that we have our air tubing, and our air filter is gonna be in here. We'll pop this clip off and you can check the air filter. You can see that the engine is in the V configuration, but instead of having 3 or 4 or 6, it's got 5 on each side, making it a V10. Here you can see clearly indicated, it says engine oil. That would be your dipstick. Here is that clutch, because this is not an automatic, this is a manual. So your clutch fluid. Here's the power steering fluid, clearly labeled. Brake fluid, not clearly labeled, but you could tell by this piston on the bottom going into this round housing. That's usually where the brake fluid's going to be. On the other side, you can see your battery, your windshield washer fluid, and then all the wiring. Here's your fill area for where you put your oil. Yeah, so basic. It's pretty similar on everything. It's usually the same. Here's a Chevy, different make. This is a Chevy Tahoe, Vortec V8. I don't know the size, but again, here you can see your brake fluid. On top of the cap, it says DO3, so that's the type of brake fluid you're gonna wanna use. Here's a battery. Over on this side, the driver's side, is the windshield washer reservoir. Here, now on the passenger side, is where the air box is, and in here will be your air filter. Instead of having a clip that you can remove it with, it's just some simple flathead or Phillips head screws. You take that off and you can replace it. Here's where your coolant is. Coolant on this is pretty low. This is where you'd fill up your oil. On here it says 5W30, so that's the type of oil you'd use. The dipstick is right here. It's the L top, and then there's your transmission fluid. It's got the same type of switch type thing, and then pull, and your dipstick's seen. Yeah, this is your AC condenser. You can see your two tops right here. This is where you load up on Freon if your Freon goes bad. So that's that. They're all, somewhat similar, just different locations. Oh, Jesus. So that's that. It's fairly simple. Making sure your fluid levels are where they're supposed to be. Everything's basically kind of mapped out for you. Everything's somewhat labeled. If not, you can look it up. If you don't know where it is, you can easily just type in what vehicle you have online, and Google will show you what you need to look for. If you don't know what vehicle you have, there's one thing that you can check is right on your registration sticker. This is my registration sticker. You can see it says 1996 Jaguar 4-door sedan. But it's not too hard to find out what kind of vehicle you've got. Most people kind of know what they've got. I drive a Hyundai Sonata or a Volkswagen Golf or GMC 1500 or a GMC Sierra or something like that. It's not too hard. Just finding the year. It'll be right on that registration. It should be on your title. If it's not your vehicle, you can ask the owner of the vehicle, or you can check the registration again because you're with the vehicle. Maybe you're bored in the house and you're in the house bored and you got a car. When it's not raining, or maybe you got a garage, you can go out. Just go check your fluid levels. Just go do that. Yeah, that's a solid looking windshield wiper right there. Maybe it's like a boomerang now. I can throw it and it'll come back. No. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got some kind of useful knowledge out of it. If I need to go in depth on some things, leave a comment. Tell me what you want me to go in depth on. Tell me what car you're driving down below. And I'll see you next time.